Continuation of chapter 8, question and answers. In last class we studied up to question number 4. Today we can start with question number 5. What is the state of rural infrastructure in India? During colonial rule, the British aimed at developing infrastructure to facilitate their trade affairs. At the time of independence, Indian government found lack of sound infrastructure to realize their dream of economic development and growth. Most of the infrastructural development concentrated in the urban areas. The infrastructural development in the rural areas is still very meager as compared to the size of rural population. Then the women in rural areas still making use of fuels like cow dung, fuel, wood to meet their energy needs. Then we can understand from this one that rural development is very slow compared to urban areas. The infrastructure development in rural areas is very less. The census of 2001 states that only 56% of households has electricity connection and 43% is using still kerosene. Okay, then 56% only have the facility of electricity connection. About 90% of rural households use biofuels for cooking. Tap water is used by only 24% of rural households, and improved sanitation is available to only 20%. Then in especially in rural areas, only 24% of households only getting water facilities, tap water facility and sanitation is available to only 20%. As the infrastructure is an essential element of economic growth, it becomes a need of the hour to address the problem of infrastructure. Means it is a essential element for economic growth. The government of India invested only a small portion of GDP on infrastructure, only 5%, that is lesser than that of China and Indonesia. Okay, then India spending only very less amount for infrastructure from our GDP. Okay, the economists see India as the third biggest economy in the world. For that to happen, India will have to boost its infrastructure, especially rural infrastructure. This will not only promote economic development of our country, but also enhance economic welfare. Then we need to boost our infrastructure, especially in rural areas. Next question is, what is the significance of energy? Differentiate between commercial and non-commercial source of energy. Energy is the most important factor of economic infrastructure. It is a critical aspect for the development of a nation. It is essential for industries. Nowadays, energy is used in agricultural sector also. Okay, it is needed to operate tube wells, tractors, threshers, etc. Okay, it is required to houses for cooking. One cannot even think of a day without electricity or like petrol, LPG, etc. So we can say energy is lifeline of the entire production activity. Then we know commercial energy is there, non-commercial energy is there. The source of energy that are available to the users, some prices are referred to as commercial energy. This form energy used for commercial purpose. Example, coal, petroleum, natural gas, electricity. Okay. Then Commercial energy is there, non-commercial energy is there. The source of energy that are usually available freely to the users are referred to as non-commercial energy. Then means which are freely available, that one is non-commercial energy. Example, firewood, then agricultural waste, animal waste, cow dung, these are the non-commercial energy. Normally this one using for domestic consumption. Then commercial energies are coal, petroleum, natural gas and electricity. Next one, what are the three basic sources of generating power? Mainly there are three basic sources: thermal, hydro and nuclear powers. Okay, then thermal powers account 70% and hydropower it is 28% and nuclear power it is 2%. What do you mean by transmission and distribution of losses? How they can be reduced? Electric power transmission and distribution losses refer to the losses that occur in transmission between the sources of supply and point of distribution. Then loss of power that arise due to inherent resistance and transformation inefficiency in electrical conductors and distribution transformers, means there will be some loss when we are distributing power, electric power. There will be some losses due to some lack of technologies. The following should be taken to consider when we are transmitting power. Improved technology of transmission and distribution should be used. Electricity distribution network should be privatized. Then electricity distribution network should be privatized. That one is the main thing. Then this will we know efficiency, this will increase the efficiency, and through that one we can eliminate the wastage. Improved technology transmission should be used. Theft case of electricity should be handled strictly by the trustworthy employees. Strict imposition of fines and penalties should be imposed. Then especially theft, we need to control theft also. Then through that one we can manage this transmission and distribution losses. What are the various non-commercial sources of energy? Firewood, agricultural waste, animal waste, these are the main non-commercial energies. Justify that energy crisis can be overcome with the use of renewable sources of energy. When the resources are extracted more rapid pace than its regeneration, then we say that carrying capacity of the environment reduces. Means resources extracted in more rapid pace than its regeneration. We know petrol, diesel, like that things we are using more. The environment fails to perform the function sustaining life, and this result environmental crisis. Okay, then consequently resources get exhausted quickly. When we are consuming more and more, automatically it will exhaust quickly. And but on the other hand, renewable resources get renewed or replenished quickly. These are unlimited, are not affected by human activities such as solar energy, wind energy. These are the main example. Okay, then we need to reduce some types of energies. Okay, next one, how has the consumption pattern energy changed over the years? The percentage use of different sources of energy referred as pattern of energy consumption. It can only be analyzed when different sources of energy are converted into common unit. Okay, the pattern of energy consumption has undergone considerable change over time. The use of primary sources like coal, petroleum, natural gases has undergone significant change. Non-commercial use of energy has increased from 36% to 76%. The percentage of direct final consumption of coal drastically reduced. Then also the consumption of oil, or which our country was dependent upon Gulf countries, has increased. The consumption of electricity in the agricultural sector has increased over the time, whereas it remained the highest in the industrial sector as compared to other sectors. Okay, then consumption pattern is increasing. That only we need to understand that comparing to 1980s, it is increasing fastly. Also consumption of oil and everything also increasing. Now we are depending Gulf countries, that one also increased. Okay, how are the rates of consumption of energy and economic growth concentrated? Okay, the rate of consumption of energy is crucial for economic growth and development process of a nation. The consumption of renewable sources of energy is related to sustainable economic development. The renewable source of energy are free from pollution, health hazards, and also energy consumption is essential for promoting agriculture and industrial process. Okay, then a renewable source of energy are free from pollution and health hazards. Then it is consumption of renewable source of energy is related to sustainable economic development. Hence, more use of renewable source of energy leads to more sustained economic development. Next one, what are the problems being faced by the power sectors in India? Mainly some critical challenges are there. First one, the installed capacity of India to generate electricity is not sufficient to meet economic growth of 7%. Then state electricity board that distribute electricity suffered a great loss, more than 500 million, due to transmission and distribution of electricity. Then this loss is another issue. Then wrong pricing electricity, like supply of electricity at subsidy rate, means subsidies are the another problem. Then next one, the high power tariff and prolonged power cuts are the another problem. Then thermal power station faces scarcity of raw materials to generate electricity. These are the problems facing by power sector in India. Next one, discuss the reforms which have been initiated recently to meet the energy crisis in India. First one, privatization of power generation sector. Means the government earlier had the monopoly, and now private sector has given rights to generate power. Okay, next one, privatization of power transmission. Then that one also given to private sector. Then power for all by 2012, Ministry of Power started on project like power for all 2012. Then setting up regulatory mechanism. The Central Electricity Commission along with State Electricity Regulatory Commission has been established in 19 states, and these commission regulates tariff. Then encouraging foreign development investment. Then next one, accelerated power development reform programs like APDRP has been initiated in year 2001 with the motive of improving financial viability. Then awareness, improving productivity. Then government encouraging people to increase the renewable resource like solar energy, like that. Awareness government is providing. Then improving productivity. India improve the productivity of the existing power generating. Global burden of diseases. Global burden of disease is an indicator used by experts to measure the number of people dying prematurely due to particular diseases. Okay, in India bears a frightening 20% of GBD, global burden disease. Okay, it is an indicator used by experts to measure number of people dying prematurely due to particular diseases. Discuss the main drawbacks of healthcare system. The main drawbacks are unequal distribution of healthcare services. We know in urban and rural areas, especially in rural areas, there are very less number of hospitals and very less number of doctors. These are the main problem in rural areas. Then another problem is communicable diseases, and another is poor management. Then another is lack of modern techniques and facilities. Then next one is privatization. These are the main drawbacks of healthcare system in India.